Hey, friendo, Steve here. So, a very emotional Raw just took place with Daniel Bryan announcing his retirement at the end of the show. I'm really bummed out about this. Daniel Bryan is one of a kind, and his send off was very emotional. I didn't cry because generally I don't cry at things, but if I, did cry at things, I might have cried. It was a big bummer, and it's obviously it's not a shoot, or it's a shoot. It's not a work. It's real. He said that about a week and a half ago, after running numerous tests and being cleared by a couple of doctors, he ran a test, or he had a test ran rather, that said his brain wasn't really what it needs to be in order to continue a wrestling career. So it's funny. I've got like two thoughts about this. I'll expand obviously on it on Going In Raw tomorrow. But as a fan of the product, it's a huge bummer. Like, there was a big part of me that was like, maybe he's just retiring from the WWE and then he can go to New Japan or, Lucha Underground or Ring On or something like that. I don't know. Because maybe the WWE was clamping down on, maybe their standards for being medically clear were just higher than everybody else's. And if he was happy with it, then it's fine. But it really sounds like this is it for him. It'd be really difficult to envision a scenario where somebody would say, hey, your brain seems fine now. You can go wrestle again. I'm not a neurosurgeon. I'm no Ben Carson, but I know that's probably not going to happen. So it's a huge, huge bummer. I mean, for all the injuries that he's had over the past 2 years, it's not terribly surprising. But just the how definitive it is really kind of it's just a bummer. It's an absolute bummer. Anyways, I got the rest of your Raw results here. That was at the very end of the show. Again, I'm going to talk about it. Me and Larson are both going to talk about it Going In Raw, obviously pretty extensively. Raw was sort of a weird show. Again, it was better than last week. I can kind of say that. Not by a lot, but I was entertained by a couple things here. It started off with the contract. Stephanie came down for a contract signing for Fastlane main event with Lesnar, Ambrose, and Reigns. Lesnar came down and basically destroyed both Ambrose and Reigns. They're really pushing Ambrose right now, which is really interesting. Reigns is just sort of hanging back, which would be great if that meant he was, going to turn heel, but I don't think it's going to happen. So Brock Lesnar they all signed the thing. Stephanie left, and then Brock Lesnar pushed what looked like it was a pretty heavy table, shoved it right at Roman Reigns like it was nothing, which eliminated him from the fracas. And then Dean Ambrose came over to him and he gave him a big ol' F5 and left him laying in the ring. Let's see here. Next was another match between Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens. Dolph won once again. No idea. No clue what's going on with Kevin Owens. I think he's the kind of guy, though, that with Kevin Owens, I think they can just turn him on at any moment and start booking him strong again. I don't see the point. I'm fine with long-term feuds, but there has to be dynamics. There has to be evolution going on. There has to be stuff happening, not just match after match. We've seen this match a lot of times, and makes you wonder, maybe just somebody backstage is a really big fan of both these guys and just wants to see them wrestle all the time. I don't know. Maybe they just really love their matches and like, hey, go out there and do it again. Dolph, this time you win again. I don't know. I don't care. Let's see. I just want to see these guys involved in some sort of story. Charlotte beat Alicia Fox. No brainer there. Jericho was on Miz TV. I was out walking my dog when this happened. Can you guys tell me if it was good or not? Jericho, kind of on him. Miz, in my head, I know how this happened. In my head, I know how it happened, and it didn't really entertain me that much in my head. Let's see here. Bray Wyatt defeated Ryback, who not only did he switch up his gear on SmackDown last week. We're going to talk about this extensively and Going In Raw tomorrow, but I think they were like straight up black tights, and this time it's got a big guy on his butt. The words "big guy," and I don't think he had that at SmackDown. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong about that. I'm not sure if I saw any pictures of his ass at SmackDown, so maybe he did have it there. I don't know. Good for him. I'm going to talk about that extensively on Going In Raw, though, because that's a juicy topic, Ryback's ring gear. Adam Rose, with help from the Social Outcast, defeated Titus O'Neil. That's what I call, that's the Hulu Outcasts. They should be called the Hulu Outcasts because that's the match that isn't going to be on Hulu. Dean Ambrose kicked Brock Lesnar in the nuts. That was a segment that happened. Dean Ambrose came down, said some rude things about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came down. Roman Reigns, for the first time in a while, came down from the ramp, or appeared at the ramp, at the top of the ramp, to distract Brock Lesnar, who was destroying Dean Ambrose. And then Dean Ambrose gave him a big old shot to the nuts. And then left him alone. I was hoping he'd do some more stuff, but, don't want to poke the bear too much. Let's see here. Rusev and Del Rio defeated the Lucha Dragons. Something kept me... I think my internet was jacked up. Because I don't think I saw this. Where was I when that happened? Because I saw that one. I saw this one. I don't know. I don't know where I was. Probably an okay match. I don't know. Does anybody think that Kalisto's going to lose his title back to Del Rio at Fastlane? Are any titles going to change hands at Fastlane? Probably not. Tamina defeated Becky Lynch. Sasha Grey was I always call her Sasha Grey. Sasha Banks was at the commentary table. I love Sasha Banks and I love Sasha Grey. Let's see here. The Usos and the Dudleys beat the New Day and Mark Henry, but then the Dudleys turned on the Usos. This is hilarious because the Dudleys, it was a heel turn, and the crowd went insane for the Dudleys. They went insane for the Usos being put through a table, which I thought was hilarious. Because if you're a babyface and you get swerved, you're not supposed to be... Whoever swerved you is not supposed to be getting the praise. But I don't even think it was because of the Dudleys. I think it was just anybody. I just think that everybody was so happy that the Usos got put through tables that they just started cheering. Because nobody likes the Usos. I don't know how you fix that. I mean, I do know how you fix it, but WWE's not going to do it anytime soon. Anyways, that was the main event match. Then Daniel Bryan came out, and it's sad. He's one of the few guys on the roster in the last 10 years that you really get jazzed about. And it's not like his mic skills are excellent. He's excellent in every regard. But he's not like a Steve Austin promo guy. You know what I mean? Like, he was, honestly, I feel that Daniel Bryan was best when he could be a heel still. He was a magnificent heel. And then the crowd just got behind him so hardcore that there was no way they could have ever turned him heel again. But that was my personal favorite. But, when a guy is getting cheered that hard, it's hard to do much in terms of his character beyond the underdog role. But anyways, like I said, I'll talk about that a lot more with Larson tomorrow on Going in Raw. So check that over on the Steven Larson channel. And Daniel Bryan has said his goodbyes. I really hope that he just sort of leaves. I don't like necessarily when, like Edge left. Edge, when his neck got busted, he retired and left. And then he had a career on Sci-Fi Channel. Now he's coming back to the network. That show looks good. But I hope that he does something completely different. I hope he does something that's interesting and cool and something that he really likes to do, and not just show up and be the commissioner or do some network show. I really just hope that he leaves the company. He seems like the kind of guy who's sort of like, probably prefer to just leave the company anyways. Kind of a bummer of a Coming Out Raw, but that's Coming Out Raw for this week. Be sure to check out Going In Raw tomorrow, and we'll talk to you guys later.